Hey everybody, this is Eric Mishi, CEO of SAVE, Suicide Awareness Voices of Education, and thrilled to be here today to talk about, we'll talk a little bit about the Kids Campaign, Keep It Digitally Safe, which is a global campaign contest to talk about the need to put warning labels on social media platforms. Um, but I'm really pleased to be able to talk with one of the partners of that campaign, an individual, which is with the group Internet Safe Kids Africa. Confidence, welcome. Let me see here. I got you. There we go. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. It's good to see you here, and I'm so honored to be here talking to you today, Eric. It's amazing that we're having this opportunity to talk, collaborate, and just bring up conversations around this whole safety of social media and technology when it concerns young people, not just young people in the US, but young people across the globe. So it's really humbled and honored to be here with you today. Thank you very
Well,
much.
it's a privilege for me to talk to you. So, Confidence, maybe share with people a little bit about your background, and then you founded the organization Internet Safe Kids Africa. So, maybe talk about why it is you founded this, and what are some of the issues in Africa that you're dealing with when it comes to the to social media and young people.
Okay, thank you very much. So I like just saying that digital citizenship and cyber safety educator. Actually, I've been in this tech space. I've been in the tech space for over a decade plus, almost 2 decades, if not more. I've been transitioning from one level of tech space to the other. And eventually, along the line, my career line, I found myself working in the cybersecurity space where I was leading a team of young people who basically what we were meant to do was go all out there and establish online safety clubs in school. We had to do the footwork into communities around us and talk to students about being safe online. And during this process, and one of the things I noticed was the massive way young people in my community, or should I say in Nigeria, use technology. But one interesting thing about it was that their use of technology, their consumption of technology wasn't really going down well with them and their families. Because every time we went into the fields to speak to the kids, we came back with not too good stories about what they were doing online, the harms they were facing, the risks they were facing online, and they kept it to themselves. So this was very worrisome for me. And somewhere along the line, working with the cybersecurity firm I was working with, they decided to shut that department down because it wasn't profit driven and they needed money. So I said to myself, no, from the stories I heard these young kids tell me, I am not sure I really wanted to leave them to be on their own when it comes to technology and social media. So 2018, I founded Internet Safe Kids Africa as a not-for-profit. And what I basically did was I kept going into different schools in underserved communities and high-end communities, going to schools, teaching these young people how to navigate social media and how to be responsible with their use of technology. I've been doing this for 2018, and I will tell you the storyline isn't too good when it comes to young people and social media. They have no clue of what they are doing online. They don't know why they are online. They have so many horrible stories of encountering dangerous potential bad people online, encountering dangerous content online. So I just took it upon myself that I'm not going to stop this. I'm going to keep going into communities, keep going into schools, families, organizations, if I'm invited to talk to young people about the use of technology and about how to navigate social media, especially with care. So it's been a journey. because I've been doing this, and one of the things I've learned doing this is that a lot of parents have no clue what their young people do online, and the young people themselves aren't even ready to talk to their parents about it, because from where we are, our region and culture, there's a relationship young people, children have with their parents. You can't just come out as a child to talk. You don't have all that freedom when it comes to here in Africa and Nigeria to talk to your parents. So you find out that a lot of kids keep a lot they see online and they do online, they keep it to themselves. So it has been a journey. Like I said, it has been a journey for me. I had to like learn how to go into character of a child, to talk to them, to bring out those things they keep inside of them when it concerns their digital space, so I could help them navigate those spaces responsibly and, most importantly, safely. So that's what I've been doing for the past 2018 through Internet Safe Kids Africa. We've had advocacy, seminars, training, education, collaborated with other organizations here in Africa, here in Nigeria, and outside the country, to just make sure that these kids are safe. And sometime last year, we held an online safety and privacy workshop in an underserved community here, in partnership with some foreign colleagues over there in the US and Italy, to raise young champions, young digital safety champions who would carry this narrative of staying safe from themselves to other young people, because it was seeming as if a lot of adults were not listening. So we decided to raise more young people who run along with the story, teaching other young people how to stay safe online. So it has been what I have been doing for the past 6, 7 years now.
So thank you for that. So I'm curious, um, what are some of the harms that you are seeing in Africa for young people who are on social media? So that, you know, those of us who live in the United States and in the West, you know, we've got all sorts of stories of what these harms are. So I'm curious for to hear from you, what are those harms that you see the most in Africa with the kids that you're working with?
Okay. One thing I would love for us to be clear on, that when it comes to social media, it's a playground. And when you compare the physical playground to the digital playground, it's almost like the same. Children come on there to play, they meet various kids everywhere and everything and all that. So the issues of our own problems when it comes to social media are not totally or completely different from the problems the Western world faces. It's just a slight tweak. Like, for example, we have the issue of cyberbullying, where people are bullied. We have the issues of where children are like sharing images, adults also sharing images that they are not meant to share online without the consent of kids. We have the issues of instances of kids being lured through social media platforms, lured out of their homes, and eventually go and meet these people, strangers, physically. And most times they are either raped, they are either killed. There are issues of very, very bad trends going on some of these platforms like TikTok, where children engage with, and at the end of the day, try it out on themselves and are harmed or even fall into depression. There's also people copying, trying to be like other kids or other adults they are seeing online, trying to look like them, and eventually start misbehaving in the area of even stealing or trying to kill themselves. So it's a whole lot of issue. But one of the things that is worrisome with all the issues that our kids here face is we really don't have strict laws on curbing the excesses of social media. We don't have them. Like, for example, when I come online and I see, oh, people hammering on cyberbullying or telling people don't bully if you're bullied and everything. We often over here see it as, oh, I can come online, talk to you anyhow, and everybody makes fun out of it. It's a joke, it's fun. And why is this so? It's because there are no effective laws working against you coming online to speak or say something nasty to somebody. You understand? Some of these laws exist, there are some acts and some bills they exist, but they are not effective. We're also very commonly now facing this issue, mostly among women and girls, of just sharing non-consensual images, intimate images of people, and blackmailing them, asking them to bring money or threatening them over something. So these are some very, very common stuff. When you talk of the issue of sextortion, it's also happening here. And sometimes when I come online and I see, oh, a kid in the US or a kid in Australia got killed themselves, and the perpetrators were from Nigeria, we also are facing it ourselves here. It happens to us here in Nigeria. We are also being sextorted, we are also being scammed, we are also being defrauded and all that. But it's something everybody is like, over here we are working on, we're all working on, okay, how do we make sure this doesn't escalate? How do we make sure our kids are safe, are protected? But it's a huge issue for us here. It's a really, really huge issue.
So thank you for sharing that. So from the standpoint of coming up with laws and policy to protect kids, what is the reaction of your political leaders in in that are where you live? What is the reaction of political leaders? Are they passing laws? Are they working to regulate those platforms? Are they calling on the big tech companies to fix these problems? So I'm curious what's going on in terms of the laws and regulations that are
So,
impacting. Go ahead.
so, so the truth is, there is a lot of laws. There are a lot of laws. Child rights law, there's data protection law. There's a lot of laws here, and like I said, it is not yet effective. We are like coming into terms with this. The way our system is structured when it comes to technology, when it comes to social media, it's we are not yet there. The way you guys over there are like coming after it, we are not yet there. And that is why you can just see someone wake up and just come online and troll anybody and threaten anybody. Excuse me. And I'm sorry about that, please.
That's okay.
So, like I was saying, there is nobody shouting, oh, we need to pass these laws, oh, we need to get this done. Oh, they're not people taking up placards in front of our leaders to say, let's pass this law, let's do this, let's do that. It's not happening here. I can tell you that for free. It's not happening here. We are just coming to terms with it gradually, but the harms are there. There are groups of people and individuals talking about it on their own in silos and all that. But it hasn't gotten to the point where, like you guys do over there, we see parents at the Congress and in places of where decision makers are talking about it. We are not yet there. We are still trying to like, okay, this is wrong to do online, this is right to do online, let's do this. That's the state we are. The only area I can say we are actually really now talking about, okay, how do we bring up laws that would work to stop this is probably in area of internet shutdowns and digital rights. But for safety, online safety, when it comes to children, what we have are acts and bills which are not yet effective. They are not yet
So,
effective.
so as I look at some of the information that you sent to me, you talk about some of your work being you're doing training and workshops, you do
Yeah.
provide resources in online safety, digital citizenship, and social emotional learning. So what are these trainings and workshops look like?
I didn't get that. You said, what is the training for?
Yeah, so when you do your training and workshops, what describe for us what those trainings and workshops look like?
Now, over here, there are so many calls coming from parents and concerned adults and individuals who come to you, who call, who say, look, this is the problem our students are having in school. This is the problem our child is having when it comes to social media, pornography, and all that. Can you please come to the school? Can you please come and train them? Can you please come to our church, our community, our mosque? This is what we are called to come and do. And when we are called, we go. Individually, we are concerned as parents, as teachers, as guardians, as educators, individually. But collectively, as a nation, we are not that concerned. Collectively, as a nation, we are not that concerned. So that's why you get a lot of individual organizations who are seeing the need for this safety, who are seeing the need for protection of kids and everybody concerned online, establishing one initiative or the other to make sure that we have our children at least protected and have an understanding and knowledge of navigating social media and also making sense of the technology that connects them. So our training is because I have been in this space and I understand what these kids they go through, and so that we don't get to that point where, oh, we are now in trouble and don't know what to do. I started going to schools to train the kids because they are actually in trouble. They know it. And some of their parents actually do know it. So our training is about making sure these kids understand what technology is, the connection they are having through technology, understand what it is, how to relate, how to connect. There are instances, let me tell you, whereby children as young as 10, 9, they get messages from people from Facebook telling them to come. And they just find their way and they go. And at the end of the day, you hear stories like, oh, this child is missing, or this child's body was found somewhere, or something very strange has happened to that child. So this problem are more like talked about in individual spaces. So what my organization does is, since we know this is an issue that hasn't been ready to be talked about collectively as a government or as a nation, I, in my own little corner, together with my team, we go from schools to schools, families, individuals, and organizations who have seen our work to train and sensitize young people and every other individual concerned about staying safe online, and especially about how they navigate social media.
So the way you and I got connected was we were part of a conversation a couple
Mm,
of weeks ago, or a month
yeah.
ago, with the Shield conference, where there were a lot of different organizations like yours and ours that were talking about some of these challenges related to social media, right? And what
Mhm.
everybody was doing. So then you're part of this same group of partners that we're a part of with the kids campaign calling for warning labels on
Mm.
social media platforms. So as you think about the work that you're doing and you're thinking about this campaign for warning labels, how important is it for this kind of policy to be put into use where you live for kids to be able to understand what these harms are on these platforms?
Okay, thank you very much for this. it is, for me, it is very, very important. I've been in a session where I was training some kids, and I asked one of them who is about 11 or 12 years, I asked her, which social media platform are you on? And she said, TikTok. I'm like, what do you do on TikTok? She said she doesn't know. Why are you there? She doesn't know. And right where she was saying it, her teacher was there, and her teacher simply answered, they don't even know the harms there. We don't even know how to guide them. We don't even know what to tell them to like avoid when it comes to social media. And I'm like, wow, who sends their child into a new neighborhood and says, go play around, have fun, without trying to first understand that neighborhood, know the risk associated with living in that neighborhood before they send their child out. And this was a long conversation we had during that section where the teachers were actually saying, first, the kids actually have to have that understanding that there are risks and harms online. And so when I saw this campaign, I was like, fine, this campaign might be happening there in the US, but it's beyond the US. If US could come up with a bill or a policy saying social media should be labeled, it transcends that region coming down to Africa. And it's a plus for us here. So I'm totally in the support that social media should be labeled so that kids or parents would know that, oh, if I am going to be on this platform, these are the risks, or these are the dangers, or these are the signs I need to know that I am treading into a ground which might not come out to be too good for me. So it's important. Yeah, I have people recently when I put up this on some of my platforms, I had people asking me, oh, and cigarette companies with all the labels on their products saying smokers are liable to die young. What has that changed? We still have young people smoking heavily. And I'm like, yeah, young people are still smoking heavily. But for me, if we can label social media, it's a step towards making tech companies accountable. We need them to be accountable. We need them to know that, oh, I designed this product. If anything happens to the users of this product, I should be able to account for it, not just coming up with products, designing products, and leaving, knowing well that young people are mostly the people on this platform. You leave them to explore the platform unguarded, unaided, unsupported. So I totally support this whole campaign about social media being labeled. Our kids are naive. Kids are naive, and like I said, it's a playground. When you usher some kids to a playground, they just go about playing. You as an adult is the person who will now come and tell them, oh, don't go here, this is how to drive this, this is how you climb this toy or whatever they have on the playground. But it's not so with social media, which is very, very wrong. And this is why we all are going through the same challenge we have. Who develops or designs a product without a manual? Who does that? Who does that? Who creates or designs something without a manual, a guide on how to use that product? So when these big tech companies design all these things without rules or regulations or labels telling people or young people this is how to navigate this space, that is so unfair. And I totally support this, that social media should be labeled for kids and for adults, we adults to also look at it and say, oh, before you come here, this is what will happen. This is what will happen. Let me guide you
Yeah.
to navigate this space. So it's important we have these labels on. It's important. It's a step forward requiring the accountability from tech companies.
I could not agree more. I we're completely in agreement on that. So one of you I think you may have just posted on LinkedIn, and I did as well, about a movie, or not a movie, but a show, TV show that's been playing called Adolescence, that talks
Yes,
about that talks about what happens when parents don't have a conversation with their kids about what's going on with technology, right? What's going on with phones, what's going on with their computers, and how important is it for parents to have those conversations with their kids about what's happening on social media?
Okay, sorry, please, Eric, can you go over that question again? How?
Yep. How important do you think it is for parents to have these conversations with kids about what's happening on social media?
All right, all right. Thank you very much. For me, it is very, very important. You know, I keep saying this. Um, you don't, you don't, you don't wake up and just hand your child your car simply because your child wakes up in the morning and can do some house chores, or your child is one very good child with making good grades in school. You don't just wake up and hand them a car. You don't just wake up and throw your child into a pool to swim, right? You
Hmm.
don't just wake up and your child becomes a good basketballer or a good footballer. They go through learning, they learn before they now become, oh, a professional footballer, a professional swimmer, or whatever, or what have we. I think the same thing should apply when it comes to technology, social media, and everything. Watching adolescents, there was something that intrigued me, where the police officer who had a son in that school came to the school to do some interrogation, and the child was asking him, "Oh, Dad, do you even know what the heart emoji represents?" He said yes, that he sent the heart emoji, the red colored heart emoji to his wife. Okay, do you know what the yellow colored heart means? Do you know what the purple color? And the man was like, no. And the guy said, I watched you just commit blunders there and everything. You don't know what these things mean. It's important that parents have these conversations with their children. Parents know where they are ushering their kids to before they hand them these devices. It's key. If you know you are not ready to understand the platform you're sending your child to, if you know you're not ready as an adult to work with your child to understand that platform, then please don't send them there. When you do so, you're sending them there as a digital orphan. You're sending them into these spaces as orphans, unguided and unguarded. It's important before, like I keep saying it, I can't come into a new neighborhood and just usher my kids out to go and play. I won't do that. I would first survey that neighborhood. Can we start thinking about social media and technology like a new neighborhood? Can we start thinking that way? I think the more we as adults are aware of these spaces where we are pushing the children, and the more we make our young people aware of those spaces, the less of a victim they become on all these spaces. So these conversations need to be like, if your child is 6 years and probably you're looking at your child um, coming online or using technology by their 13th year of age, then by 6 years, you need to start having those conversations. So it's important that parents have conversations about technology, not like I say, not in heightened emotions, because I see people arguing that adolescence was just about marketing fear, not in fear, but just those calm conversations, preparing them for the world you want them to be in. I think it's very important, Eric. It is very important. The more aware we are with our kids about technology and social media, the less of a victim they fall. If at a young lady of 25 years could be a victim of social media mishap, then what will happen to a 10-year-old child? In my country, a 25-year-old lady was talked to on Facebook, lured from her house down to another part of my country and killed at the age of 25. So if someone 25 years old is not that knowledgeable enough about how to navigate those spaces, come on,
Yeah.
what do we say of young people? That means education, conversations, awareness has to be created before ushering them into those spaces so that we talk less, so that we don't do much of all this talking.
Confidence, you have shared some really important information, and this half hour that we had together has gone really, really fast. I want to thank you for the work that you're doing in your
Thank you
community
so
and
much.
and please, I look forward to continuing to work with you
Yeah,
on the
thank
campaign, the
you.
kids campaign, but also to help support your work and amplify it.
Thank you
It's
so
a
much.
reminder that no matter where we live in the world, that
Yeah,
kids are kids, and kids need our
yeah,
help. They need our
yes,
support.
yeah,
Um, we need to make sure we're advocating for them in ways that can help protect them.
yes,
And so
you're right.
I,
Thank you so
I,
much.
I want to thank you. I look forward to staying in touch and continuing to work with you. Keep doing the important work you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Eric. I'm honored, like I said, to be here. And thank you for the good work you're doing. And hopefully, we'll get some of our African Nigerian kids to come on board the contest as well and everything. So thank you so much. I appreciate this. I appreciate the work you're doing over there. And someday, we won't sit to talk about all this negativities. We'll sit to talk about the good work you're doing and the good work that technology is bringing into our lives. Hopefully, someday.
Hopefully someday. Keep the faith,
Yeah.
my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a
Bye.
good day. Bye bye.
And you too. Bye.